Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the topic drugs used for gout. So exactly what is gout? It is a metabolic disorder characterized by hyperuricemia. What is now hyperuricemia caused for? It is a condition on which either there is increase in uric acid productions or clearance of uric acid from body will be reduced. These are the major two reasons why this gout will be precipitate. So the first one, if you can go through this picture, there are purine bases which is found in our body, and these purine bases will metabolize into uric acid. So there is imbalance between uric acid productions or clearance is the pathophysiology behind the gout type of disorders. Finally, if this pathway is altered, it causes increase in uric acid crystals, and this deposit in various parts of your body like in the joints, tendons and surrounding tissues, including the synovial fluid, and that starts the gout type of disorders. So gout is mainly characterized by hyperuricemia. Hyper means increase uric acid level. Remember, joints are lubricated by these fluid which are called as synovial fluid, and in healthy person's urine uric acid should be there. It doesn't mean that in a healthy person uric acid absent. That is a normal process which is going in our body. If we go to the types of gout, basically it is divided into two major classes. One is acute gout, the other one is chronic. As all of you are about what is acute and chronic. Acute may be sudden, but it could be sometimes intense or fatal. But chronic means on long term basis, if the person is complaining for the same symptoms of swelling in the joints, that is a sign of chronic gout. Again, the disease will differ according to their onset of symptoms. So acute and chronic gout are further need different drugs or specific drugs for treatment. So let us discuss about the specific category of drugs which are used for acute gout. So in case of an acute gout, the medications are useful like non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, colchicine and corticosteroids. So corticosteroids are also a golden standard drugs or widely known for its anti-inflammatory action. But colchicine is a unique drug which is specifically used for gout. And other than that, as we said, NSAIDs or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs that could be useful for promoting the conditions of patients which are showing symptoms of gout. Coming to the chronic gout, why this chronic gout require different treatment or different drugs? Why? Because the intention of treatment option behind the chronic gout is to clear the excess amount of uric acid which is accumulated in our body. So that's why generally the motto here is to excrete or promote the excretion, or it prevents the synthesis through inhibition of certain enzymes targeting particularly xanthine oxidase. So that's why the drugs will be differ. We'll go to discuss. Other than these, newer treatment options are also be available, which are generally reduces the level of interleukins, which be a major cause behind this gout. So coming to the chronic gout, the medications useful are uricose-uric agents, on which the drugs are probenecid, sulfenpyrazone, benzobromide, lesinurate. Further, as I said, it can inhibit the uric acid synthesis. The drugs which target the enzyme xanthine oxidase are allopurinol, febuxostat. The last one is uricase. Examples of drugs under this category as whereas uricase, pegloticase. So till now we have discussed about the causes and the drugs. So gout is resulted from either increase in production or due to decrease the excretion of uric acid from the kidney, or sometimes both the causes may be response to precipitation of gout. And difference I have mentioned in hyper and as well as in acute and chronic. Sometimes causes may be not known, that is called idiopathic. If you don't have what may be the causes behind this. This is the mechanism of action in common. Generally the purine metabolism will be targeted, and this conversion of purine to hypoxanthine will be reduced. So finally the productions of this uric acid will be slowed down. Second one is targeting the enzymes xanthine, especially xanthine oxidase. These are the targeted drugs like allopurinol. This inhibit this enzyme xanthine oxidase, which is required for metabolism of purine. The last one is the uric acid productions. So here we are targeting the clearance of uric acid, or the productions will be reduced like urate, oxidase, and the drugs are allantoin. So we'll start with NSAIDs. How these NSAIDs will be useful in treatment of gout type of disorders. If we'll see this picture, behind the synthesis of prostaglandins, there are the membrane phospholipids and phospholipase A2, which convert these arachidonic acid, which are generated from the breakdown of membrane phospholipids, are immediately converted to prostaglandin residues like PGG2 in presence of enzymes like COX-1 and COX-2, that is called as cyclooxygenase 1 and cyclooxygenase 2. So we are concerning about the cyclooxygenase 2. We'll discuss what is the difference between COX-1 and COX-2. So further, these prostaglandins are converted into PGI2, PGH2 and some thromboxanes in presence of individual enzymes like prostacyclin synthase, thromboxane synthase. And these prostaglandins or thromboxanes individually responsible for either inflammation or vascular dilatations, vasoconstriction, platelet aggregations. So all these factors together precipitate the conditions of gout or the pain which is associated with these inflammatory conditions. So that's why the NSAIDs are the agents which can inhibit the targeted enzyme and inhibit further productions of the prostaglandins. So let us come about the drugs: naproxen, piroxicam, diclofenac, indomethacin and etoposide. These are widely useful for treatment of gout, and these anti-inflammatory actions are already mentioned why they are useful, because they provide relief by targeting cyclooxygenase 2, which is mediating the synthesis of prostaglandins at the site of injury. But sometimes there are certain additional mechanisms pertaining to some drugs like NSAIDs provide symptomatic relief from pain and inflammation, because pain is very severe in acute patients, so that's why they need immediate relief with these NSAIDs. So there is difference in COX-1 and COX-2. COX-1 is produced by normal cells and normal tissues for maintaining our homeostasis, whereas COX-2 is induced by inflamed cells and they mediate inflammation. So that's why that is our target of action. There are some contraindications to NSAIDs like peptic ulcer, impaired kidney functions, allergic reactions. They should not be given. Common adverse effects like GI disturbances, heartburn, nausea, dyspepsia, abdominal pain and constipation. Second class of drugs are colchicine. Their mode of action: it is one of the oldest drugs available for treatment of acute gout. This is exactly an alkaloid obtained from Colchicum autumnale, and having no analgesic or anti-inflammatory property, nor having any effects on inhibition of synthesis of uric acid. How interesting. But still now it is not useful as a first line drug because of its narrow therapeutic window, but it will be useful for suppressing gout inflammation by other mechanisms, like they prevent granulocyte migrations into the inflamed joint sites, they inhibit the release of glycoproteins which causes aggregation of inflammation by forming lactic acid, and they can target lysosomal enzymes which may lead to destruction of joints. Further, they could bind to intracellular proteins which is called tubulin, because this tubulin may be responsible for depolymerizations and disappearance of microtubules. Remember, there should be a drug therapy, drug holidays while you are using colchicine. A gap of 7 to 14 days should be needed while colchicine is useful as a drug treatment. There are adverse effects like GI disturbances, vomiting, nausea, abdominal pain, which is associated with these drugs. Then corticosteroids like prednisolone, as I said, they are most important for acute gout during attacks, and they prevent further attacks by their anti-inflammatory actions. They are mostly indicated in patients who cannot prescribe NSAIDs. This is the mechanism of action which is mentioned. They inhibit phospholipase A2, decrease arachidonic acid synthesis. That's why they decrease production of prostaglandins as well as leukotrienes. So the common side effects are mood changes, increased blood sugar levels, and elevated blood pressures. In the chronic gout, as I said, the drugs are allopurinol, which target xanthine oxidase, or they are commonly called as xanthine oxidase inhibitors. It is used to prevent rather than the treatment options. Allopurinol is converted to alloxanthine by xanthine oxidase, and this step will be inhibited. Secondary drugs for chronic gout are uricosuric drugs. These are substances increases the excretion of uric acid in the urine, and they inhibit competitively renal tubular absorptions, increase the loss of uric acid in urine. So they reduce the concentration of uric acid in blood as well as in plasma. The kinetics cause complete absorption occurs after oral administration and attains peak plasma concentration within 2 to 4 hours. What are the adverse effects? Mild GI irritations is mostly seen, which is specially occur in too high doses. So it should be avoided in patients with creatinine clearance, that is 50 ml per minute. So other drugs in the category are sulfasalazine. It has either analgesics or neither anti-inflammatory property, but it inhibits tubular reabsorption of uric acid. There is another drugs, febuxostat, that is another xanthine oxidase inhibitors, which has not been approved for treatment in gout, though it is not recommended for asymptomatic hyperuricemia, but having advantage of being more potent and selective. Just with this, I can add on some non-pharmacological treatment which is also useful for patients, like patients upon being diagnosed with hyperuricemia, so should be advised diet with less purine content like refined cereals, bread, milk. Alcohol consumption should be kept at minimum intake while you are treating with these drugs. Other than these, meats and beverages, sweetening agents, high fructose syrup should also be avoided while we are going for gout treatment. So this is all about gout and their treatment options. We'll continue with another topic in next class.